We're finally able to talk about the brand new Liberty 4 Pros from Soundcore. These are their latest premium audio solution for 2024, and I've been waiting for these for literally months since the Liberty 4 came out. First and foremost, we have a lot of updates as far as the actual performance, battery life, and of course, gesture control. Not only do we have pinch control, we also have swipe control for volume, but they also decided to add some functionality to the case. This is something that we haven't seen from them before, and that's the ability of actually not only seeing an actual graphical representation of the battery presence, but also controlling the ANC, controlling the actual the barometer functionality in here. Yes, you heard it correctly, as well as the ability of finding my actual earbuds. So without further ado, this is TK, and these are the Liberty 4 Pro earbuds. Improved ANC, case control, and so much more. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So in front of us, what we have right now is the Soundcore. This is again the Liberty 4 Pros. 7 sensors, precise noise cancellation. That's 6 audio sensors and 1 barometer. We do have support for ANC 3.0. This is their new technology. LDAC support, of course, for codec. This is obviously Soundcore by Anchor, same company we've seen before. And one of the biggest changes that we've noticed in here is also the ability of having that dual driver configuration. As we see here, the barometer and the 6 sound sensors to give us that ANC. Very nice, very good. And we're going to check out what comes in the box. And of course, they were very nice enough to send me this case. This is an all-purpose case for Soundcore earbuds. It's not specifically made for the Liberty 4 Pros, but it will work with almost any of their older generations, as it's actually big enough to work, and it has a nice little carabiner. And just so we can get the actual case out of the way, this is pretty nice. Magnetically clamping, closes very nicely, and works really good with the Liberty 4 Pros. But as you can see here, it's actually meant to be a little bit bigger. So for the most part, a multi-purpose case made by Soundcore for their buds. It does have a little hook on the side, as well as a nice little clip that comes with it in case you want to use that, or you can just connect it and basically put it on the side of your backpack, or wherever you want to be able to hang it. But it'll protect your case from scratches, or the actual case of the buds, and it of course looks very stylish. Now when it comes to the actual buds themselves, you'll notice probably right away that there is a small display at the bottom here that gives us the ability of not only actually seeing the percentage of the battery, but also it actually updates it live as it's charging the batteries on the actual buds themselves. We get obviously the buds. There's 3 colors available in here. This one is a very nice color. We have a nice little instruction manual here just to be able to configure it and use the correct ear tips to provide the best experience. And as I mentioned to you guys in the introduction, we actually have swipe control for volume control on this. So not only is it pinch controlled with the gestures that we have built in, but we also have swipe control to be able to change the volume on this, so we don't actually have to turn on our device to raise the volume or even lower it if we want to be able to, control that directly from the buds. Last but not least, they also give us the little instruction on how to be able to use the actual touch bar configuration at the bottom, and I'll show you guys how to configure it. Also, you do need the application to be able to add additional functionalities to this, so I hope to see even more in the future. Last but not least, again, just manual pairing and resetting. This is slightly different than most other cases since we don't actually have a reset button. You do need to actually follow these instructions to be able to reset it and pair it to a new device. It does support multi-connection, so that's always nice to have. We have the instruction manual, the QR code to download the application. They do include a USB-A to USB-C cable, and of course, ear tips or additional ear tips to be able to configure your experience in here. Now, out of the box, they come with the large ones. They do provide an XL, which is the one I'm using. So I've already actually replaced the XL ones with the ones that came with the device. But in case these are too larger and you want to be able to go to a more of a better fit, they do all the way go to basically extra small, as well as the extra small, large, small, and as well as extra large. And the cable I mentioned to you guys is included right here at the top. The application or the Soundcore app is available both on Google Play Store as well as the Apple App Store. You can scan the QR code that's included in the actual package, and of course from there be able to download the app, configure them, and control the actual buds to their fullest extent. The design that we have here is very familiar, with the exception of the fact that this is actually a touch bar, a configuration bar that we're able to control directly the functions that we get directly on this little display. So I can see here, I can actually swipe, I can go between camera remote, we can actually use it as a trigger. We can also use it to find my device. We also have the ability of controlling the atmospheric configuration, or using that barometer sensor that we talked about. Last but not least is of course the ambient sound, or what we're going to be using as ANC, turning it on all the way to level 10, turning it off, going down to normal, or even going to transparency mode, which actually these have a very good experience with out of the box. Other than that, you can actually leave it on more of the configuration in the center. That's going to give you just a normal area where you're getting some of the noise reduction from the ear tips themselves and just listening to audio. And by the way, this is going to be the way you're going to be able to get the best audio experience, up to 10 hours of playback with the earbuds battery that we have in here. Charging pins connected on the side. We have multiple sensors, and as I mentioned to you guys, we have a swipe sensor for volume configuration. There's a basically an in-ear detection area, additional microphones on the side. I did go ahead and install the larger ear tips. Those are going to be very nice. The case itself looks and functions very nicely. The moment you put them back in the case, they start to charge up. And what I really like about it, you can actually see the number go up very quickly and be able to actually get a very quick recharge on these, even if they go all the way dead. The case that I have is a little bit see-through, as you notice right there. I can actually see the display and I can try to configure it, but it's not controllable when the actual case is closed. You have to have it opened for them to turn on, and then you'll be able to control it. Double tap seems to be basically the in as well as the out of a certain menu, and then swiping away gives you the access to the control. Also, just for reference, when you go into the actual camera application, this will work for video as well as images to be able to take those shots. And for the most part, what it's doing really, it's initiating the volume configuration on our phone to take a picture. Again, if you've used any Soundcore products, you know that we need to download the Soundcore application, connect it, and you're ready to go. Now, as you notice, it's actually set to normal because the buds are not in my ear. But this is the actual configuration. You see the battery life here directly on the actual case, and we see the battery on each bud. As long as they're in the case, they're always going to be at 100% and ready to go. We have the ability of configuring the ambient experience. So as we saw it there, go down to 0, go down to 5, and all the way up to 10. That's going to give us the best active noise cancellation. And we're going to talk about the different settings that I've been able to test that out. Airplane mode is actually a very nice function that works when you're traveling and you're on an airplane. On top of active noise cancellation, if you want to be able to use that, this actually tunes it to the level or where you are at basically the elevation that you're in. I'm going to show you guys a quick little playback there. As I'm showing you right there, this was actually recorded on a plane coming back from a trip that I recently took, but it also tries to optimize for it directly, and you can do a manual or an automatic optimization. Last but not least, we do have the wind noise reduction option. That's something that you can turn on. And of course, you can keep that on either with the ambient sound or essentially the ANC configuration option manual or the airplane mode if you're on an airplane. Under control, pretty straightforward. We have Hear ID test. This is their own built-in test to be able to give you the best audio experience for your ears. So basically what it does is it plays a certain number of tones, allowing us to actually understand which ones are which ones our ear can actually receive, and then it'll tune the audio to play back as the best experience there. You can customize the EQ from basically the preference test based on the Hear ID, the default ones, and you can go in there and customize them, or you can also go in and create your own. And as I've done it myself, I've just created a custom EQ called a TK EQ. Straightforward and very easy to set up. As far as the touch configuration, pretty straightforward. Right and left, you can customize them to a certain point, and not adjustable are the ones that we have here. Long press, single press, swipe down, swipe up. Those are the volume configurations that we have. And as I mentioned to you guys, you have them also on the right side. I did receive a few software updates. So if you go into the settings tab on the far right, you have the ability of turning on easy chat. That's also set up in there, also compatible here. Adaptive sound leakage compensation. If you notice there's some sound that is still kind of going out, you definitely have the ability to turn that on. Safe volume, that gives you the ability of customizing it so you don't actually allow the actual device to go to 100%. Great, especially if you have any kids and you don't want them to play it at a very, very loud volume. The prompt tones are pretty straightforward. This is just basically when you put them in, it gives you a little responsive tone to know what you're doing. Sound mode is pretty straightforward. You want to turn it on either to LDAC or combine audio and connectivity quality, meaning for better connectivity, you're going to be able to go here. LDAC is obviously going to be the best audio experience, and obviously we want to be able to do that with these buds. The next one we're obviously going to talk about is dual connection. One thing to mention is, as always, this is something that Soundcore has been doing for quite some time. I hope that they're able to do it where they're able to allow us to use LDAC as well as dual connection. But if you do end up opting to go for dual connection, you do lose the LDAC configuration, as it's really more focusing on a connectivity function, therefore turning that off. For me, I'm going to keep it off. I pretty much used it with the here with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold since I've received them, so no issues for me. Fit test, pretty straightforward experience. It plays an audio experience here and sees if there's any sound leakage, and it'll tell you that the ear tips that you're using may not be the right ones. And here where we go into the charging case functions, which is really, really cool. So out of the box, the ambient sound is the only one that's configured, and you can add additional ones. So we have the atmospheric function, find my device, and remote control. You can also change the language, which is to the preset ones. Out of the box, it's set to English. You can go to simplified Chinese or Japanese. Once you have them configured, again, as I showed you guys, all you have to do basically is activate them. And once you have them there, you just double tap and you can go into one, or you can basically swipe between them, and it's pretty straightforward. And if you find yourself like you're not using Find My Device, remove it and it'll take it away directly from the actual experience here. You'll notice there's only 3, and I can turn it back on. And now we get the Find My Device. It comes back straightforward. Everything is basically straight, easy, very simple to do. Auto turn off, I did change it to be 10 minutes. I didn't like to have it on for too long in case you're not using them. Obviously, Find My Device Control widget, of course, you can also add that in there. Software is up to date, version 0.4, was it 04.17, that's the latest one. And the case itself actually has its own software. So every time I've received a software update, the buds get updated first and then the case gets updated since the functionality works there. And as you can see here, you have the ability of jumping in here at the end here for help and feedback in case you need some information. Now, when it comes down to the audio playback and the best quality we're able to support here, as I mentioned, we have LDAC support, which means for the most part, we'll see that 24-bit 96 kilohertz is going to be the best experience. And it is exactly the maximum capability that this device supports. As far as the actual fit, it's pretty straightforward. Again, in ear, pretty straightforward. You put them in, make sure that they're snug, and you make sure that the boom is positioned directly. And once you have them on, if you have the touch or at least the notification sounds on, it gives a little bit of a tone. Same thing for the left ear, so you know exactly that they're both active and they're both functioning. Once you have them on, everything for the most part kind of drops a little bit. The ear tips already do a little bit of a noise, I would say, isolation. This is why it's important to wear the right ones when you're using these buds. But other than that, make sure you do the ear tip fit test if you're having a little bit of a concern where you're able to hear a lot of external noises. For me, the extra large one seems to always work this way because I've been doing so many tests over the years. I think those are the ones that fit me the best. They provide me the best, most snug experience, and now it allows the ANC and the microphone and the tech that's inside of the earbuds to give us the best experience. So obviously, when we're going to do it real quick, we're going to do just some of the gesture functionality. So I'm going to just go ahead and pinch on the right side. You'll notice that the music starts, and as you see there, I'm lowering the volume. And if I remove the earbud, audio stops, put it back in. And as soon as I put it back in, I still get that auditory notification. Essentially, it's just letting me know that it's in and it's active again, and the music starts up again. But before we go ahead and start talking about the noise cancellation, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about audio performance. So we're going to do the first test for the noise cancellation is outdoors. It's one of the hottest days here in Los Angeles, and our air conditioning has been running all the time. So let's go ahead next to that air conditioner and see if we can actually eliminate the sound from that. Right now, I'm standing next to my air conditioner. I want to be able to do a quick audio test for you guys to see how the audio can change when we start using the buds themselves, and how much are you actually able to hear from what's going on, and also conversely, how much am I able to hear from here. The AC is running, the fan is right there. I hope you guys can actually hear that right now. We're recording straight with the built-in microphones on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I'm still standing in the same spot, but the intention here is hopefully that you guys can no longer hear the air conditioner, or at least that you're not able to hear it very clearly. For me, the audio experience went down basically dramatically. And what I'm talking about essentially is it's no longer prominently sitting in the, as far as I'm listening to it, I can still kind of hear it, and it's primarily because I'm reading next to it. But if I stepped away just a little bit more, the ANC that I have here, I have it cranked up, not only up to 10, but I also did turn on the atmospheric configuration to help tune the actual experience and provide me with the best audio experience for you. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me very clearly, pretty much what it sounds like if we're doing an audio test with the microphones built in here. But otherwise, it should be pretty decent experience of how much we're able to cancel out of the environment, although I'm still standing next to the AC that's on. To summarize the experience with the Liberty 4 Pros, what should you expect? Great battery life. Again, up to about 7.5 hours with ANC, up to 10 hours without. And I did test that out on the airplane. This is something that is always appreciated for me for extended travel. What should you also expect for audio performance and audio quality? We have dual drivers. The audio is going to be absolutely banging. And if you love bass for like dance, EDM, rock, this is not going to disappoint. This is going to be what you should expect out of Soundcore experiences to date. This is what they've been delivering for many years. So those two are going to provide you a great experience. And for range and performance, again, LDAC is going to be the best experience that we're going to be able to get here with a single connection. Dual connection drops us down out of LDAC, but we get a much more stable connection across two devices. So it's depending on what you're trying to do. And if you know you're not going to be switching a lot of times, it's best to just basically keep it at LDAC, because I feel like that just gives you the best experience. The ear tips themselves are going to be really crucial to the best experience that you're using. Make sure you not only use the right size, but also do the Hear ID test that they have in there to get the best audio experience from not only the actual drivers that we have in there, but also from a noise cancellation experience. And what's going on right now is that you guys actually are getting a really good example of how the microphones work. We did the test with the active noise cancellation. This is going to be the microphone recording test using the Pixel Pro 9 Fold, and we're using them to the best experience. Should you expect less? No. This is Soundcore, and they always deliver. Now, what you noticed in there, the experience was pretty straightforward. There was a consistent sound around us. This could be the air conditioner, this could be an airplane, this could be at an airport or at a school where there's a lot of noise around us. And the experience was actually pretty nicely conveyed over when we started to actually talk in the audio recording part of this video. Because what you're listening there essentially is how the microphones are able to basically cancel out your surrounding audio. If you're trying to have that personal call, you're trying to jump on a conference call, you're not going to have to worry about everybody on that call hearing everything that's around you. I was standing next to the air conditioner and you could barely even hear that there was something next to me that was providing us with basically a background noise. So that was the first way I wanted to kind of show how well and how, I was going to say basically it's like a pleasantly surprised that this was able to cancel out an air conditioner. And essentially it's the condenser with the fan that's on top of it that provides a lot of that sound. The next experience I wanted to test out here obviously was being at the airport. I was actually at the airport waiting to get on a flight coming back to LA. And the experience was very nice. As you can imagine, airports are very loud. There's a lot of noise, a lot of people around you. And the best thing you want to do is to be able to actually kind of tone that down. You want to bring down the experience. And the ANC works really nice. And what I liked about them there is that it was simply easy enough for me to put on, and I was able to configure it directly on the case. If it doesn't turn on right away to the fullest extent, because again, by default it's set to 5, you're able to push it all the way up to 10, and that provides you the best experience. Now, obviously that's the best experience on the ground because we have an extra sensor here that I feel like they're really thinking about giving us the best experience even when we're traveling, and that's where that additional sensor comes in. We talked about 7 sensors there. 6 of them are audio sensors, and 1 of them is a barometer. So while I was on the flight coming back, obviously I was listening to music. I also like to use earbuds, or basically earbuds with ANC when I'm sitting on a plane to actually kind of zone out or bring down the environmental audio so that I'm actually able to sleep a little bit better. So with that experience being in mind, what I was able to do obviously is turn it on and then push the actual experience all the way up to 10. And it actually provided me with a very nice, very low interruption type of an environment. It doesn't basically kill the audio entirely, but it brought it down to the point where it stopped being a concern for me. Playback of music on this is absolutely fantastic. We're talking dual driver configuration in here with the main basically speakers as well as tweeters that gives you not only some of the most obviously well-known bass experience that we basically get from Soundcore over the years. If you're a bass head, these buds are made for you. Since the beginning of Soundcore's experience to this day, I feel like bass has been in their DNA, and this is what we're getting here. So audio tuning, you can go in there with the custom EQs, customize them. And with the ANC turned on, you're getting that best experience there. Because A, the ANC reduces the environmental noise, and B, the audio that you're playing back is very nice. It also provides us the experience of not having to push the audio volume to a high level. The last thing I want to mention to you guys before I forget is charging this is going to be either via wire directly to the back, or we are actually also able to use wireless charging, which is again one of the nice things that they've carried for some time. So with that being said, I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I hope that you understand how much I appreciate Soundcore's technologies and what they've done so far and the improvements that they've done here with the Liberty 4 Pros. It is literally one of their best solutions available to date. Of course, thank you very much to Soundcore for sending me not only the actual buds themselves as well as the actual case to be able to check out and share with you guys my experience. And of course, they're going to have 3 different colors available for you guys to be able to find the one that works the best for you. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next video.